Okay. Good morning. Welcome back to the WIfey Vibe podcast. Um, Boy, I really do like to have something to fidget with when I'm doing these. One of my best friends, Carrie, always says that I play with my necklace, which I'm not wearing, and um, with my hair. See if I can not do that. Probably not. Also, can we just take a second to acknowledge the tan? See, I told you it wasn't going to stay like crazy red for long. Okay, so today's my last full day here in Tulum, and I wrote out some things that I feel like I've learned in my time here. And so maybe I'll just read the list, and if I feel like talking about the list, I will. I don't even know really what this podcast is about anymore, honestly. It feels like and I said this in the last two episodes since I've been here. I feel kind of lost as to the format of what this is going to be. I've done, well over 200 episodes. I've had the podcast since 2019. There's maybe 30,000 downloads, nothing made, like nothing really, um, compared to most podcasts that have been doing that many episodes. But I don't know what to do with it. I know I love podcasting. I know I love to share stuff that I've learned. I know I love to share, period. So I don't know. I might have to sit and kind of think about where this podcast is going to go. I'm not going to stop it because I do love it, but I guess at the end of the day, I'm always looking to think or looking about how can I bring value to my audience, as big or small as it is. I just want to make sure that everybody's getting something out of it. So today's episode is not very, um, there's no real structure to it, except for I'm going to, again, I think if anything, I would love to inspire other women my age to do what I'm doing, in terms of finding yourself during this season of life. Maybe it's that simple. I started this podcast to talk about masculine and feminine energy way back in the day when I first started to learn about it. And obviously, I've evolved since then. And um, I'm in a different season than I was 6 years ago, 7 years ago, almost. Shit, holy crap. Yeah, it'll be 7 years this August. Um, and I've evolved, obviously. Now I'm in very much in perimenopause. See, fidgeting with my hair. Um, and I wasn't back then. So I don't know. Anyway, if this gives you any type of, happiness or inspiration, or makes you want to do something cool you were afraid to do, then that's kind of all I guess I can ask. So what have I learned in the last 2 weeks? So first thing is I've learned I still don't like to be away from my children. um, yes, they're grown. My biological oldest lives in British Columbia, so I have no choice but to become okay with that. But I hate it all the time. But my other three live at home, and now there's no other the grandbaby. But so number one, I learned I still don't like to be away from my kids. Number two, I've learned that I still have some pretty strong anxiety around certain parts of my life. C point above the kids. I'm always anxious about my kids. That's literally the only thing I really get anxious about is my children. And I feel like as long as I know where they are, I'm okay. And as soon as I can't get a hold of one of them, I start to freak out. And I mean, the younger one I get more nervous about quicker than the older ones, obviously. But regardless, I still get quite anxious when I can't get a hold of them. Number three, I learned that I'm capable of doing scary and hard shit. This was I know there's a lot of you that might be like, that's not scary. Jumping off a building, skydiving, that's scary. That shit's scary. You'll never catch me doing any of that shit. But this was a big, big moment of holy crap. And again, if you followed me for any time or you're friends with me even and you listen to this, which I hope you do, um, I travel all the time. I travel for Tony Robbins all the time. I used to travel for our company all the time by myself. I don't know. It wasn't the by myself part. It was the being alone for 2 weeks with no agenda part that was really scary, but I did it. Number four, I learned that I can still manifest like crazy. And for some reason, I don't give myself enough credit for that. Um, yeah, I broke down and bought a Starbucks also. If you know, you know. Give me 1 second. Um, I boycotted them as soon as they claimed to double their coffee prices in the name of inflation. But I really felt like having one today, so I did it. Um, Manifesting is a real thing, whether you agree with it or think it's hokey or bullshit or whatever, doesn't matter. You're always manifesting, good or bad. The law of attraction is always working for you or against you. So, what I learned on this trip is that I definitely am a strong manifester, but I don't give myself enough credit for it. And I don't know why that is. Like, I really want to work on that this year. There's two main pillars that I want to work on this year. One is my health, and two is this just not letting myself be excited about things that I've accomplished. I cannot find, like, I sort of get close to being like proud of myself, and then I'm like, meh, next. And so I really want to work on not doing that anymore. It's really irritating. Um, Number five, I've recognized, discovered, learned that I do like a much slower pace of life. Intellectually, I knew that. Intellectually, I thought, I bet I would like that because I talk about it all the time, but I didn't know it in my body and I didn't have the experience yet. And now that I have, 100%, I much rather have a slower pace of life, um, with pockets of busy or pockets of city or, whatever busyness. But overall, I thrive in this environment, which I think most humans do. um yes, we've evolved, and yes, all the things, but human beings are not meant to be like, driving on the 401 every day, 100 clicks or 130 clicks an hour, and getting stressed out at, like, it's just not natural. And we all know it, and we can all say, yeah, but I have to because I got rent to pay and I got this shit and that shit. Yeah, I get it. Everybody has to make money. Everyone has to make a living. Um, but it's still unnatural. We can say that it's necessary, but it's not natural. And I've discovered that. Number six, I've learned that I really do want to be in a relationship, but that I'm still not attracting the right kind of energy to me to meet someone. I will say though that on this trip, I did meet up with some people, like just throughout, you know, being at the beach or being at coffee shops or whatever. And I definitely am magnetizing a much more masculine energy of guys around me. So that's very encouraging because if you know, you know. And for the longest time, it was always very like feminine energy dudes around me. And now, there's one in particular. He's probably going to be a friend. I don't know, for life. We definitely connected. Like, he's a really cool dude. He's younger. He's from Europe. Like, can I see us talking? I don't know. Probably. Like, I bet we could be buddies for a long time. But what super masculine energy. And I was like, okay, so this is good. Like, this is good feedback for me because for the longest time, I wouldn't have even attracted platonic friends like that. And so the fact that I am is really exciting. Um, this one's kind of a funny one. Number seven is, I wrote them down if you're wondering why I'm looking down. I discovered how to cook without an oven. Now, that might seem stupid for somebody who is a cook at home. I cook constantly. I'm obsessed with cooking. But I had a hot plate and one that didn't get very hot. And it's like a bougie one. It's like one of those kind that if you take off the pod, it beeps at you and turns off right away. I don't know what those are called. Somebody say it to me in the comments. But I discovered that I can do a lot with one burner, and I'm pretty impressed with myself. I learned I don't love Tulum. That is, I would only come back here for, I would say, max 5 days, and it would definitely be in a resort along the beach. I would never rent a condo like I did. My condo's stunning. I've shown you pictures if you want to go check them out, or some video on Instagram. You can go see that. Uh, but I will tell you right now, I would never do this again. There's just something I don't like about Tulum. I especially don't like downtown. It's very it's like very bipolar. Like there's streets that are totally normal, and then you go like 50 feet and it's completely sketchy and looks like the scariest part of town you can imagine. So I probably will not come back to Tulum unless again it's like at a resort, max 5 days. I learned to show my body more and care less. This is a big one. Um, I still don't love seeing it on camera. I still don't want to see video of myself at this size. And you can come at me all day. It's my body, and I'm not jazzed about it, the size of it. Although I know that this year is going to be an exceptionally healing year for me to release this weight, whether it's the thyroid being balanced or I don't know what exactly is going to happen, but I know it's going to be a positive release of this weight. But the good news is I have worn a bathing suit you would never catch me dead in. This whole week I'm going to wear it again today because it's my last day and I want to get a good tan, a better tan. But I give a shit less. So that's huge. And if you've been following me on Instagram, I've also been posting stuff where my belly's showing and like, I don't give a fuck. I might care, but I'm doing it anyway. So that's exciting. Number 10, I learned that Tulum has garbage Wi-Fi. Not all of Tulum probably, but in my condo, the last 24 hours have been sketchy. And again, so why does that even matter? Because it plays into my anxiety. If I'm not accessible or I don't feel like I can get to the family through texting, then I panic. Number 11, I learned that I love home because of the food choices. Again, I'm very deeply connected to cooking, and that's one of the ways I get really deeply into my feminine. And the food quality here is just garbage. Like I don't want to be mean, but it's interesting to me because I had this idea of what it was going to be like in the grocery stores are like. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're great, but there's just a difference in quality of food in general here. Um, like the beef does not look appetizing. The chicken, I was looking to buy some raw chicken and cook it. It looked swollen. And when I say swollen, the chicken breast, it looked large, but it also looked swollen. And so I don't know what that's about. I know naturally chickens do not look that way. And so I love home because I love the access to the food. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to love other places, excuse me, on earth. I'm sure Italy's going to be incredible when I go there for cooking, but definitely I do love North America for the food quality. I find it better. And that's basically some of the things I've learned. Am I sad to leave? I'm definitely going to miss this weather. I'm going to miss this energy, but I'm also very excited to see my family and my pets. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to the next adventure. It shouldn't be too long. Hopefully I'll be traveling in March again. Um, it's funny because as you know, I still live at the house with my ex-husband and the kids, and we all have our own spaces. I have my own kind of like suite, and we're all separated that way. Um, but so I know that I'm gonna be moving out this year, and I'm hopefully sooner than later, but it's not as big a priority if I know I can do this for a few weeks every month or so. It alleviates pressure for everybody. I've learned that it's manageable. Now, am I nervous to go home and be in the environment that I feel less than my best self in? Absolutely. So today and tomorrow, I'm just going to really focus on how do I stay grounded and not get sort of pulled in again by mine and Ken's old patterns of conflict because we're not together, right? We're not a couple. Neither one of us wants to be in that situation anymore. And so um, it's a challenge. So I'm going to have to work really hard at making sure that I stay in this more grounded, centered phase when I'm at home. And we'll see how it goes. But I will be traveling a lot, so it's all good. Okay, we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.